guys, welcome to Keeping It Simple Crafts. Today we are going to be making this fun Deco Mesh flamingo wreath for summer. And you will need some 21-inch Deco Mesh. You'll need a new roll of it, and you'll need 3 rolls of the 12-inch Deco Mesh. And then you'll also want some of the 2.5-inch Deco Mesh ribbon. Then you'll want a couple rolls of ribbon with wire. And you'll need a cute flamingo from Dollar Tree. And you're going to want to have some pipe cleaners, some floral stem wire, your scissors, and I think that's about it to get started. Oh, you're going to need your work wreath frame. So this one came from Hobby Lobby, and so you'll want your tinsels all pointed upward, and just thread your Deco Mesh through, and then take a pipe cleaner and secure it to the work frame. And this is the 21-inch Deco Mesh. And this is going to be a full and fluffy wreath for summer. And so I've got it tightened to the back with a pipe cleaner, or you can use a zip tie. And you're just going to want to roll the raw edges inward and make a puff or poof. And mine are about 12 to 13 inches probably long. Just try to make them about the same size each time, and then go back and fluff it. And I am just going to the next tinsel, making about the same size poof, attaching it to the tinsel by giving it a few twists, and I'm just going to go all the way around the outer circle, or the outer ring. You can start on the inner if you prefer, but I'm left-handed and I just usually start with the outer. So just make sure you're making your puffs about the same size. If you don't like it, then stop and redo it. Sorry if you hear something, my little chihuahua's in here with me. But just roll your edges inward and make your puff, and then give it a few twists to your wreath. And this is the 16-inch wreath form. I don't know if I said that, but 16 inches. Okay, so I've done the outer circle with a 21-inch Deco Mesh, and now I didn't cut it or anything. I'm just gonna kind of go diagonal to the inner tinsels and start on it. So same steps, you're just gonna make your same puffs or poofs, and you're going to work on using every one of your tinsels on the inner circle just like you did on the outer circle. Try to keep them about the same size each time, and just fluff as you go. And this, like I said, will make a full and fluffy wreath. In the drop-down box, I will write all of the materials list, everything that you'll need. I'll just write it out and put it in the drop-down box for you. That way, if you have any questions, you can just check the drop-down box. But if you have any questions about anything, just ask. I'll be happy to do the best I can to answer your questions. Okay, so this is what it looks like with the 21-inch Deco Mesh. And you could stop right there if you wanted to. Now I'm taking the 12-inch Deco Mesh, and I'm going to cut it into about 14-inch strips. And I have the blue, the green, and the yellow. So I'm taking each color, and I believe I cut 4 or 5 bundles of each color. And you're just going to take your strip that you just cut, and you're just going to roll it in your hand. Just roll it into a little tube. And hold it tightly in the center. Well, you don't really have to hold it tight, but just hold it in the center. Get your next color. Do the same thing. Roll it up. And on each new bundle, you might want to start with a different color each time, but it really doesn't matter if you forget. And if the ends start to poke out, just kind of tuck them back in. And you could add your ribbon at this time if you wanted to your bundles, but I added mine at a later time with some 6-inch Deco Mesh. But now would be a good time if you wanted to add your ribbons on top of this little bundle here. But you'll need your pipe cleaners, and you're just going to wrap the pipe cleaner around the center. Give it a few twists. And that's it. Very simple. Okay, and you're going to want to find a little spot, and I placed mine by the little white tinsels, and I just threaded it through, and I'm giving it a few twists to the back. So I'm just attaching my little bundles to the wire work wreath, and then just kind of fluff. And Deco Mesh does really good outside, so mine's going to go on my front door. And if you have trouble holding these little tubes or rolls, Dollar Tree has some of the plastic large clothespins, and they work wonderfully. So just grab a couple clothespins. You can use the wooden ones, they work great too. And this also, the clothespins really help out when you have small hands too. I kind of have small hands, so I kind of like using the clothespins. And I put my bundles on the outer ring. I just went to the white tinsels on the outer ring, and I placed it right beside it. So however many tinsels you have on your outer ring, that's about how many bundles you'll probably want to make. Then same steps, just thread your pipe cleaners through and attach it to the wreath form. Now you could take and directly attach your little bundle to the white tinsels instead of using the pipe cleaner like I did. So I kind of did a little something extra that I wouldn't have had to do, so you can just use the tinsels if you prefer. But this is how it looks with my bundles. Okay, this is the 6-inch Deco Mesh, and I'm just cutting some strips of it into about 14 inches. And I'm going to make some bundles with the Deco Mesh and then the ribbon with wire. And this palm leaf print came from Hobby Lobby. And I cut about 5 bundles of these, and the pretty flamingo ribbon came from Hobby Lobby also, and I just cut it also in about 12-inch strips. And if you want to do your ends a little dovetail, take it and fold it over to the left, and on the end that has the fold, you'll start cutting there and cut away from the fold. Okay, you're just going to roll your Deco Mesh up, and then you're going to take your wider ribbon and put it next, and then your narrower, can't talk, ribbon on top of that. And I used a pipe cleaner, but like I said, you can use those little tinsels that are on your work wreath. Either way works. Most of the time I do use the tinsels on the work wreath. And then I'm just placing it right beside it and giving it a few twists to the back. And you'll want to fluff your ribbon and kind of shape your ribbon. And ribbon with wire usually works best. And I just placed these bundles on the inner circle only. Okay, and I'm going to tie a big bow with this pink Deco Mesh, and I believe it's 2.5 inches in width. And you're just going to want to go back and forth, making the loops about the same size on each side, keeping it pinched tightly in your hand, and you'll want some floral stem wire close by. So just back and forth until you get the bow the size you want. And you'll want to let out a tail in the beginning, and then don't forget to let out a tail at the end too. And And you'll just place it down on your floral stem wire, keeping it pinched tightly in the center, and you'll want to wrap your floral stem wire as tight as you can around the middle of the bow. And don't cut your wires. Leave your wires long. And mine's the 20 gauge floral stem wire. Just shape your bow, fluff your loops. Now you're ready to add it to your wreath. What I like to do is take my wires and thread them through the Deco Mesh. That way your wreath keeps its pretty shape and you don't mess up anything. So just carefully work to thread your wires, your floral stem wire, through your Deco Mesh, and then you're going to go to the back and give it a few twists. Now don't pull it down too tight. You don't want to, make your bow sink in, but just make sure that you're wrapping the wire around the wreath frame. So make sure you get a few twists and get it attached nicely. And then you can always go back and cut the wires off at the end. And then you'll want to fluff your bow. And here I'm just adding some of the ribbon, the 2.5 inch Deco Mesh ribbon around, and I'm not going to pull it tight. I'm just going to skip a few spots, and kind of loop it around the entire wreath. You could attach that to the back of the wreath if you prefer. And like I said, do not pull it tight. Leave it a little bit loose because you don't want to pull your Deco Mesh down too much, your 21 inch blue Deco Mesh. You want it to keep its fluffy shape. And then I just kind of worked around to make sure my 2 sets of bundles didn't get folded under, so I kind of played with them to make sure that they were fluffy and showing. And then I added a cute flamingo from Dollar Tree to the center. So let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.